Good day, my name is Felicita Ovadje and I'm doing the LLB for Graduates program. As an international student, I had just arrived in the UK and I was going to study the law for graduates. And just because I had studied another course that was very related, like was similar, I'm a holder of a PSA in criminology and sociology, and just because I had dealt with a lot of complicated articles or materials, I just always felt like I had the skills needed to study law. During my first formative essay, I got the results and it was not the best. I got a very low 2.2 in almost all my essays, and I was really unhappy because I was not used to such grades. So I had to go back to the drawing board, and that was where I would say I was able to use my adaptability and resilience skills. So faced with this situation, I had to create a way to come out of these grades because I couldn't take such reading culture or reading pattern that I had before into the preparation of my exams. My strategy was first of all, I talked to my tutor, because first of all, that's your point of contact, and he said, you know what, you have to read the cases. So when I first came, I would read case summaries, I would just read case facts, I would just read maybe one or two articles that talked about cases. But then I realized that after I took his advice on the fact that I had to read the cases, and also I talked to some professors, and then I started practicing also. I started practicing like seminar questions. I will also try and discuss it with peers that were more knowledgeable than I was. And then I will also talk to professors, like more like my seminar leaders after, like during their office hours, and discuss these questions that I had written down. So it helped me to understand the way lecturers mark, and it also helped me to prepare for my exams and prepare how to think critically and not just take an article and read it, or not just write an essay like it's descriptive, but it made me take articles, and when I read the articles, it made me think and do a lot of critical thinking while I was reading the article, which is more of engaging with the article and not just reading the article like it's a storybook. Final outcome is grades came out in July, and I'll say one of the courses I struggled with, that I had to always go and disturb the professors and my tutors for, was my public law, and it was amazing how I got a 2-1 in that course because I was able to adapt to the new environment. I was also able to adapt to a new field of study that I was barely knowledgeable about, and I didn't have the luxury that most first year students have, that their first year doesn't count, because mine counted. So I had to adapt quickly within a few months. From experience, I would like to say that you always have to be open and ready for change, because that's the difference between success and failure.